You've probably heard about, or might have even experienced firsthand, Thargoid Spire sites. These are surface locations which spawn a variety of Thargoids, the most relevant of which are Orpheus interceptors. Once cleared of the 8 banshees that reside there, Thargoid Spires become an Oreo shooting gallery. That's what we lovingly call the Orpheus Thargoids. Now the thing about Spires, they are inherently a group activity. While you can certainly visit a Spire site solo, there isn't much money to be made there on your own. If you want to make money while contributing to the war effort, there's 2 ways to go about it. The first one is the pick-me-up soccer version, which doesn't strictly require being in a voice channel and can be done with a simple human weapons only build. The other version, the we mean business version, does require coordinating in a voice channel and makes use of the much more powerful but also vulnerable to the anti-guardian field of Orpheus's guardian weapons. Depending on which one you choose, here's what you'll need. First of all, you'll want to identify a target location. The Anti-Xeno Initiative Discord maintains a list of priority targets that generally see non-stop action. So hit up the Discord and identify a place to head to. Then you'll need to decide what game mode you wish to play in. You can play in Open, which will often have commanders present and comes with its own game rules, as in you may have to defend yourself from hostile commanders in that game mode. Alternatively, you can play in the Anti-Xeno Initiative private group, which is also popular and comes with no ganking rules. Or of course you can play in your own private group with your own group of friends. If you are a beginner at this activity, we highly recommend the pick-me-up soccer version. A good pick-me-up build is a slightly modified version of a Titan Killer version 2.0b, which many players already have for use against the Titans, which makes a few changes specifically suited to work at Thargoid Spire sites. We've now labeled this variant the Titan Killer version 2.0s for Spires. A great bonus of this build is that it doubles as possibly the best Banshee killer. With this ship you will clear the Banshees in no time. A low investment unengineered version, the version 2.0su, is also linked here. Possibly the best we mean business build is a so-called Cytoplasma Conda, also linked in the video description below. Know that this one cannot handle Banshees from the sky. You'll need a Banshee killing partnership or go on foot to handle Banshees initially if you're using this build. Finally, you should decide if you want to join a voice channel of a group fighting at Spires. We would highly recommend it. The Anti-Xeno Initiative Discord often has one or more group going on at any point in time. While it's not required for pick-me-up Spires, it really helps. So please do consider it. Once you know your target planet, you've decided on your game mode, you have an idea of the approach you want to take, have a build ready, and ideally you are in a voice channel, then you're ready to set out. If you're in voice with a group, speaking in the third person, ask for an anchor. For example, I would say, Commander Mechan inbound, requesting an anchor. An anchor is a wing invite that will allow you to drop into the same instance as the voice group you're speaking with. Without an anchor, the game may choose to place you in some random other instance instead. If you drop among the very first few players, chances are you'll need to clear the 8 Banshees up front. To do that, fire anti-Xeno missiles at the ground just beneath them. You want to hit them with a splash damage, not with the direct damage of the missiles. Once Banshees are gone, you clear to start farming Oreos. This softcore version of Orpheus hunting relies on ignoring so-called outbound ones, that is, the ones that spawn from the Spire portals, and rather focusing on the so-called inbound ones, that is, the ones that spawn from black clouds. Furthermore, the operating procedure for softcore Oreo hunting is to wait until the Orpheus shields naturally decay to 0, and then typically a good 5 additional seconds to allow for desyncs, before engaging them. Oreos that have shields naturally decay will not fire their shutdown fields, reshield, summon scout Cyclops reinforcements, or trigger their anti-guardian field, and thus will essentially be sitting ducks as you blast away with your missiles. Be careful not to get too close to the Orpheus and to not hit it while it's still shielded. That will trigger it, making it fire its shutdown field and earn you the ire of your fellows Oreo hunters. The plus of this method is that it is easy, relatively free of danger, and quite accessible. The downside of this method is that you're leaving a lot of credits hour on the table by ignoring outbounds and by waiting for the shields to decay on the inbounds. Once you have a bit of experience, and ideally have identified a group of people you like hunting with, you may want to switch to the we mean business version of Orpheus Spire hunting. This version uses primarily, but it doesn't have to be exclusively, anacondas armed with 6 modified Guardian plasma cannons, and a lot of AFM use. It relies on voice communication to trigger shutdown field neutralizers in a coordinated fashion, and to maximize firepower and thus minimize the time that Orphreses survive. Since 3 anacondas can splash an Orphres in a single well-ranged volley once its shield is down, and don't take too long to drop that shield in the first place, Orioles simply do not survive long enough for their occasional AGFs to do much damage. The 3 AFMUs these ships sport restores weapons to fighting shape in no time, even for the situations where they do trigger. These instances often rely on a single target caller in voice who will announce targets, call open fire, and announce the shutdown field neutralizer countdown. We further introduced a map of Spire sites so that calls can be made to head towards conventional nav points instead of having to call out compass bearings. We found this very useful and hope you will too. Things can go incredibly well or terribly wrong in an instance fighting this way. If you get your group to operate at peak efficiency, however, it will give you access to the highest paying activity in the game. In a pick-me-up soccer instance, you can look at up to 1 billion credits per hour with good spawns and with commanders well behaving. In a We Mean Business instance, you can push that up to 2 billion credits per hour under ideal conditions. Getting your ship destroyed at any time will not make you lose the bonds. These bonds persist throughout the rebuy process. The values listed are also before the bond doubling bonuses that Power Play level 5 of Arisa Lavini Duval, Zachary Hudson, and Pranavantal grant. So if you farm long enough, the effective values per hour can be close to double using Power Play bonuses. How does earning a carry in an hour and 15 minutes sound? Sounds pretty good to us. Hope it will be for you too.